G'day viewers, fellow gold refiners, gold lovers in general. Welcome back to my series of refining recovery without the use of nitric acid, or with as little as possible used. I hope you are enjoying this series. I'm trying to make as many as I can think of. In the comments, please leave me a request if there's something that you want to see. I may already be in the process of making it, or I may not have thought about it. So let's carry on with another one from the series. G'day viewers. So in this video of recovering gold without nitric, I'm going to be treating all these boards. I've got a full crate load of them. It's quite heavy. They've already been depopulated. Everything is off the boards except the solder and the tin. And I've got a few of these thrown in for good measure. They need the solder to come off as well. But these won't be included in this video. The only reason I've got them in there is because the next step now for these is to go in hydrochloric acid. I've got a tub here with fresh clean hydrochloric acid, so I'm just going to drop these in because they need to be desoldered. But majority is going to be boards, which is what this video is about. So I'll just throw these in first. And so now you can see all the solder on these boards. All of the boards that are in this box have all got gold on them. So I'm just going to layer the bottom of the box. You can see that it's already started. I've got it in the sun so it warms up, because obviously I can't put a plastic container on the hot plate. And I'll carry on doing this because this is going to be pretty boring watching me do this all day. So you know what's happening. I'm going to be putting all of that into hydrochloric acid. I'll put a layer on here, single layer, give it a chance to work. Once all the solder's gone, I will then take them out, rinse them, put another batch in, and so forth. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll come back when everything's done. Hey viewers, in this video I'm going to show you the quickest, cheapest, easiest and safest way to recover gold from boards. All I have in there is just straight salt water. It was clear. I did one as a test to see if I needed to put vinegar in there or not. I didn't think the water would get that dirty so quickly. I should have stopped once I noticed it was working so that you could see, but anyway, I'll do something and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I think there's still a little bit of gold left on there. So basically I've got stainless steel pitchfork or knife fork, roast fork, whatever you want to call them. It's got two prongs at the end. Just using that on the negative terminal, and the positive terminal I'm touching to either gold or copper. Putting in solution, and as you can see there's a reaction. Now doing it this way, there will definitely be some copper going into solution that will have to be refined out afterwards. But to get the gold off the boards, like I said, this is definitely the easiest, cheapest, safest, quickest solution. People who have no patience, this is perfect for them. Other than the fact that it does take a little bit of time, it takes longer than it does with sulfuric acid. You've got to sit here for a while with it in the solution. But I think that's a small price to pay for the other benefits. It looks on camera like there's gold there still, but to the naked eye it's looking to me like it's all gone. but I will sit there with it on there a bit longer while there's still a reaction. I'm not sure if it's the same when you're using sulfuric acid. Generally the bubbles stop when the gold is finished. I'm not sure if it's the same with salt water or not. I really thought that I was going to need some vinegar in there as well, but I don't. This solution is absolutely concentrated to the point where no more salt would go into solution. There's a little bit in the bottom that wouldn't dissolve, and not much, just a teaspoon or something. So I know that I can't get any more salt in there if I tried. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that this one's done now. I can see that that's just copper. There may still be a little bit of gold in the dots there and the dots there. It's really looking to me like it's just copper, but I'll put it in there for a bit longer. It does take a bit of time with salt water. By now this would be long finished with acid, but I know there's a lot of people out there who don't want or like using acid. Even kids, I guess, could do this. The only dangerous part would be having electricity involved near water. But providing you're smart and you set it up safely and don't be stupid about it, there's no reason why there should be a problem. Now, because it's only salt water, once I finish getting all the gold, I'll be able to filter the solution and reuse the salt water, because I have a lot of silver that I need to recover from all my recent videos like BGA chips and so on. I'll be able to use the salt water to recover the silver. Many of you who follow my videos would know that I like to reuse solutions where possible. I don't like wastage. I don't like wasting money. If I can reuse a solution, I will. So I know it's only salt and it's not very expensive, but what's the point in going and buying more salt to drop the silver when I can use this solution? Now this board was pretty easy to do because there's copper and gold pretty much all over the board. Now there are some like this here. There's copper everywhere, but only a little bit of gold on the ends. And what I found is, see these tracks? Can you see the lines that travel up there? What happens if you... I planned on... I scraped some of the green away, so I got copper exposed, and I was going to put the terminal on there and then put this end in the solution. But what might happen, these little pathways will short circuit. They'll fizzle and burn out, and then there'll be no electricity on this side of the board traveling down to the gold. That may happen. It's happened to me in the past with some boards. So if that happens, all you need to do is just put your terminal on the square, dip it in straight from the gold, and move it around to the other side and do the other side of it. If I come to one of those and I encounter that problem, I will show you anyway. But generally speaking, I don't even need the board this long. All I need to do is access some copper, because the gold is attached to the copper, and the copper carries electricity to the gold. But for whatever reason, I decided to put it up here. I don't know. Now I've got a whole pile of boards here. Some of them really good, some of them pretty average. You see this one's got gold all over it. There's a little bit on the ends here on the front, but on the back there's plenty. And some of them, like this, have got gold just on the ends. and along here, and along this end, and around this side as well, and some in the middle here on the circles, some bits there. So this is why I'm using such a big beaker, because that's pretty wide, and the reason I'm using such a big beaker. Some of these are cell phone boards, and I hope that I'll be able to just put the clips on this end. I've scratched some copper away there, because you want, if there's gold on this side, you also need to have contact on this side, not just the other. If you only have contact on one spot, you're only going to get the gold off this side of the board. So I can put the plug on there and get the gold there to carry the power through the copper without scratching the blue stuff away. But that doesn't answer this side. That's why I scratched away some copper on this side. Scratched away some of the blue paint. And there's only a little bit of gold on this side, a bit of gold on this side, but it all adds up. I got quite a few of these. They came from a landline phone, and I had about 6 or 7 of them. So they should be quite good. Some of these boards don't have much at all, some have quite a bit. That one's got a little bit of gold here, so I made a scratching here. There is a bit of gold there. Same here and there. That's it. And maybe a little bit just there. And it might be a dot there or something. Some of them have a little bit more. So, I could have put these in AP, but that cost money for the hydrochloric acid, for the peroxide. Then you got to sit and wait weeks for it to happen, and then you got to filter it all and deal with mucky solutions. Whereas this is quicker. So this one here is quite good. It's got gold all the way down the side, and then when I turn it over, there's gold all the way up there. The bits of gold all through the board. I hope that just by putting the clips at the end here on the gold, that the electricity will travel all the way through the board to all these little dots, all these little bits along here, and hopefully it'll be nice and fast. But like I said before, it may just burn all the little pathways, short circuit them, and then it might not work, and I may have to keep moving the clip until I can get it all. So the only problem with this system is you need patience for a little bit of mucking around, but you don't need patience to wait weeks and weeks, because it's only going to take one day. So I should get all the gold by the end of the day. I've got a lot of boards here to go through. I should be able to filter it by the end of the day, and however long it takes to filter, I should then be able to refine the gold. I will need to refine it once to get from the muck that ends up in a filter into a powdered form, and then the powdered form can go in with all the other gold that I plan on refining in all in one hit. And that'll be coming very soon, because this is the last thing I have to do to get gold before I can add it all together and refine it. So the gold refining video will be coming very soon after this. Anyway, I've got my clip here. I've got my power supply from my computer. Just using a 12 volt section of 12 volt wires of the power supply. You could use a car battery if you wanted to, a battery charger, anything like that. All the wires are tucked away from the water. Even this is secure. It's just the clip, and this is only 12 volt anyway, so even if a splash of water got on there, it's no big deal. So the main section of the power supply is coming off the back here, away from the water. Just take a bit of precaution, guys, and everything will be fine. Alright, so I'll set the camera up in the clip. Some of you may find it boring just watching me do these boards. If that's the case, feel free to skip forward. Some of you might like watching it. Hope so. It's good. I'm not going to let you see the whole box. It's going to take me hours to go through all this. But I'll pick out the good ones, like the ones here with lots of gold on them. And I'll do those first. There's another one I was trying to find, and it's a mouse pad. It's got a decent amount of gold on all on one side. I'll try and find that, because that one there I'm keen to see how it works out. This might be it here. Yep. So all gold on the back there, and a little bit on the front. So I might start with that one, because I'm keen to see how this one works. Now the gold looks pretty dirty. You see the green coppery stain. That's only because all these boards have been soaking in HCl to remove any solder that was on there. They're all nice and clean from solder, but it has left this mark on there. It's only residue. It wipes off with a wet rag. It's not going to affect the performance of this solution at all. So I'll pick that up and start with these. So after closer inspection, I can see that there's definitely no gold left on this one. And these can just go in the rubbish bin now. They're for rubbish, no good. So I'll start with this one. And I've scratched away at this corner here, this side here, a bit of copper there exposed. I just slide the clip a couple of times across it, make sure I get a good connection. And in it goes. You see all the fizzing and bubbles coming up. That's all the solution working. If you don't see those bubbles, then you know you're not getting a good contact. The other day I was at the service station getting some diesel, and someone who recognised me from my channel said g'day, and it felt really good to actually get to the point where people are recognising me and saying g'day. So if you do see me out and about, please say hello. I've had a few people who toot their horn or wave at me or whatever at the lights. People who have seen the writing on my car that tells the YouTube channel. It's all good to see. I like it. I like being recognised. At least I know I'm starting to get to a point where people are seeing me. I'm starting to get up there with subscribers. At last count, I was at 917 subscribers. When I hit 1,000, I'll be giving away some gold. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's not going to be only to the 1,000th subscriber. There's also going to be some available for others. There'll be a competition when I hit 1,000. And hopefully you guys will win some gold. So it looks like I've got a bad connection now because the gold hasn't left. The fizzing's all stopped. So I need to move this around, scratch in a bit into it, make sure I'm getting a good connection. And there we go, the bubbles have started again. So you got to keep an eye on that. If you see it stop, move it around. It takes a bit of time. You got to sit here holding it. The closer you get to the stainless steel, the more it reacts. Just like when you're using sulfuric acid. Obviously you don't want to touch it and short out your power supply. I guess if I wanted to, I could have the board up against the glass and put the clip on it and just leave it there without having to hold it. But that would only do one side of the board because the other side of the clip would be on the glass. I'd rather do both sides at once. This is definitely slower than sulfuric acid. It's slowly going away. All this you see on the surface, that's all the gold. I can see it all whirling around through the solution. That will all settle out in time. It'll either stay on the top or settle at the bottom. When we filter it, we'll be able to catch all that. I don't know how to do a time lapse, otherwise I'd put this on time lapse for you to see. So unfortunately you're just going to have to sit through it. And the bubbles are slowing down again now, so let's move it again. This board might be a fiddly one by the looks of it. The back of it, you can see there's all copper here now. There's gold around the outside still, but obviously on a different circuit. Obviously the gold's gone there. I may need to change it up a bit, move the point to there, a bit of gold there, so it will travel around the board. So the fizzing started again. It's only slow though. Probably not a very good connection. Keep wiggling along and scratch it into the thing, making sure you get a good connection. I may need to get a file and just clean my clips a little bit. Some of these boards might become more of a problem, like this one doesn't seem to be really working as fast as the other ones. This board might need to go into nitric acid. I'll put this aside. It's worked on the back, the gold's gone. I'll give it one more shot. I'll try and clip it right onto the rim. See if that makes a difference. You see the short circuit just then? One of the little circuits burnt out. See that one burning, shorting out. So that will get the gold off part of it, but there's one run all the way down the middle there that's gone now. Yeah, this will take some time, this one. I'll put this aside. There's two runs that are done now. So it's just a matter of getting the right section. Try that. They've got a stronger response now, so I've obviously got a better connection. I've got some copper rose made up, which I'll be using to drop the gold. Copper rose drops the gold and only the gold, so any copper from this that is in solution won't come out when I use the copper rose. SMB can tend to drop copper as well. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's 5 runs down there where the gold has come off and it's just copper. So I'm getting there slowly. There's a lot more coming off now. But I'll take this away and I'll do this one later off camera, because that's obviously going to take a while. And I'll carry on with some of these other ones. Now we'll try this one here. Gold fingers on it and gold all through the board. There we go, look at the fizz coming up. That's a good reaction there. Very good reaction. When it's reacting that much, it should happen very fast, hopefully. Some of this brown on the top might be copper. Doesn't really matter either way. Not sure how well you can see that reaction, but it's pretty strong. Slowing down a little bit, which means half the gold's probably half gone already. We'll give it a look and see what's happened so far. Let's give it a bit of a wipe down. Yep. So when you look at this here, you can see all the copper there. The gold along there is gone. And on this side as well. There's still some gold in the fingers, but all the gold along here is gone. There's still some spots. But it's working well, which is a good thing. So I'll connect it back up again and carry on. I might be able to just have that sit there like that. As long as it's not touching, I don't have to hold it now. And just leave it going until all the bubbles stop. But if you check on it and you see that all the gold's gone, then you know that all you're going to be dissolving is copper. So I'll give it a few minutes and we'll see how it's going. I need to learn how to do time lapse. I am not very good with computers. I'm about as computer illiterate as they come. I barely know how to use the program that I'm using to edit the films with. So in time, hopefully learn these things and make my videos better. I'd like to be able to have this on time lapse so you can speed through it. Excuse me. I'll give it a look to see how it's going. Still some gold dots, but most of it's all gone. Just give it a bit more time. Some of it might not come off. All the tiny little dots are probably not even worth chasing. I'm only really going to focus on the larger patches of gold. The little dots, once they're in a filter, would mean absolutely nothing. It'd be like when you put stuff in AP and you get all the tiny little dots. It would probably only be about 20 dots, which wouldn't even register. And once this side's done, I'll turn it around so that this part goes in the solution and get the gold that's up on the end here. I'll try this board next with all the good dots on it. And the square bit there. A couple of square bits on the end here. That should be right, that one. And I'll do this one, which is similar to what we're doing now, which has got all the gold down there, across here, down this side, a few dots in the middle there, some just here, same on the back. This one will be nice, fair bit of gold on that one. Alright, let's see how this is going. It's just copper on that side. And the only thing that's left here is a little bit of gold here, which I think might be ENEG gold. And ENEG gold is very, very hard to get. I've tried so many different ways of doing it. It's very, very hard, and it's really not worth chasing. There's not a lot of gold in it. So it's just a few dots there. I might even bring the clip down to here and might get these dots better. So I'll try that quickly and get a good connection on this copper. Fizzing better. Oh, that wasn't part of the plan. Oh, it's not going to balance now. Lucky it's only salt water. See, the solution's getting very dirty now, which is good. There's lots of gold going in the solution. There's not a whole lot of bubbling now. Slowing down. See how we're going, getting there. A lot more copper involved there now than there was before. Probably not going to chase every little dot. See how that's going now. Yeah, it's just a couple of dots here and there. I'm not going to worry about those. Most of the gold along here is gone. Some of it's still there. See if it works getting a connection there. Yep. There has to be a point where you consider how much is your time worth? Is it worth sitting here for half an hour or more trying to get a couple of little dots of gold? They're a micro thin plating. They're not very thick at all. So you might think, oh, gold's gold, but they're such small amounts. Those tiny little dots are just not really worth. If you only had a few boards, maybe you could sit there a bit longer, but I've got so many to go through. I really don't want to chase just tiny little dots. I'd rather focus on the bigger parts. It's a nice day today. I'm sitting out the front. There's a nice cool breeze. Gets me out of the house. And the bubbles are slowing right down now. So I'm going to move this down, see if I get a better connection. See the spark when I touch there? Something, whatever it was I hit, it sparked. So it must have been a good connection wherever it was. See, now it's bubbling a lot faster again. One thing that's going to be annoying is filtering so much solution, having such a big beaker full. But I don't have much choice, for the boards are big. It's probably going to take more time to filter all the solution than it will be to get it off the boards. See, there's only copper there now. Some copper exposed on the fingers. Some dots there are all copper now. There's a few little bits of gold. Just give it a couple more minutes and then I'll start another board. What I haven't got here, I need to go and get, is a container with clean water to rinse these in, because they do have some of this floating residue on them, and that could be gold, it might be copper, I don't know. So once I've done this one, I'll go and get a container of water, and after I've treated them I can dunk them in the water to rinse them off. Yeah, that's all done now. Even a lot of those little dots there are all pink now, it's just copper exposed. Alright, so I'll go and get a container of water and come back. Alrighty, so I've got the container of water. Now I can give these a rinse. Just wipe them down, make sure it all comes off. Not going to hurt me since it's only salt water. Nice and clean. You can see all the copper along there, down here, all copper along there. These dots are all copper. Just a few tiny little dots of gold, and these fingers here, I'm not even going to worry about them. I hate doing ENEG gold. For one, it's not even worth doing. What you get out of it's near nothing, and it's just so hard to get off. Nitric doesn't seem to work, AP doesn't seem to work. I don't really worry about them. So that one's done. This other one I did first, we'll give that a bit of a rinse in the water. See, that's all copper now, all clean. This one here that we did before, give that a bit of a wipe down in the water. With this board I may end up just putting in nitric, because there's still a lot of gold on there. but you can see where all the pink is, where it worked on some of them, and the pink on the back. Alright, so we'll do this one next. Just touch the terminals on the 2 bits of gold, so we get a metal connection to the clip, and see how that works. Yep, nice strong reaction. Now, some boards who only have a little bit of a thin coating, thinner than others, will be done very quick. Some that might have a little bit thicker coating will take a bit longer. See the short circuit there? It's exactly what I was talking about before. And all the smoke coming up is the little short circuits happening in the circuit board. Now I'm not getting a connection on the back here, it's only on the green. I'll move it across then to where I've scraped some green off, and that'll get any gold that's on the back side. A little short circuit happening just here, so I must be connecting with something. So that's a perfect example of what I was saying about burning out little paths on the board. There's no bubbling now, or not much. So I'll move this across to the copper that's exposed there. You see where I've scratched it away? Now we're getting good sparks there. Good reaction. And this power supply has stopped working on me. The light's still on, but the fan stopped, so I'm not sure if I'm still getting current going through. I don't think so. Nothing's happening when I touch the copper. You can see there's some parts of these dots that are pink and some aren't. Some have still got gold on them. So I've got to investigate while my power supply stopped, and I'll be back. Now, one of my viewers told me the last time my power supply died that there's a glass fuse, and that's probably what's blown. Now, in the past when I've pulled these apart, the glass fuse has been in an easy to access place like here maybe. Don't worry, this is unplugged. But on this one, it's tucked right down there under all these wires which are all connected to here. And I don't want to have to unsolder everything to get to it. Plus, it's not like I can just lift the fuse out because it's soldered into the board. If I could just lift it out, I'd be able to wrap some aluminium foil around it like he suggested. But it's not just sitting there, it's soldered in. So I'm going to try and see if I can pry it out, but I think it's going to break. And I've got so many power supplies, it's not really worth messing around with. I'll give it a shot. I did say to him I'd try it. I got some alfoil, which I was going to wrap around it. So I'll have to go and get my little flathead screwdriver and see if I can pry that out. If not, I'll have to grab another power supply. So I managed to pry a little bit of the solder away and got the fuse out of the holder. I knew about this when I used to have glass fuses in my car, and I would put a little bit of alfoil on them and that would get the problem solved, but I didn't think it would be wise to do it to a power supply like this. Well, in any case, I want to show you guys that I do take on board all the comments from my viewers. So I've done it. I've put the fuse back in the holder and we'll see how it goes. So now I've just got to reassemble it all, and I have a feeling that's just going to spark and burn out in a matter of seconds. But I've put 5 or 6 wraps of alfoil around it, and I'm careful to make sure it's not touching anything else. I'll put it back together and see if it works, and if it does, how long for. If it burns out again, I'll just grab another power supply. Okay, it's all back together. Time to plug it back in and see if it's worked. So far so good, fan's going. It's just a matter of how long it's going to stay like that for. Okay, so I can carry on, put this back in the clip, show you the nice day. So, got some prescribed burn-offs in the hills. You see the hills there? And they go all the way along. You can't see from here obviously, but they go all the way along the city, right the way from north of the city all the way down the south of the city, right the way down. And that's the only view I've got of the hills from where we live. And you can see over here the sun is really, where is it there? It's really, not fogs, smoky, because there's prescribed burns. A little bit smoky where I'm sitting, but yeah, it's a nice day, nice cool breeze. It's not hot, it's not cold. Awesome day. Okay, so we'll get back into it. I tried to get the camera in a position where you can see what's happening here as well as the rinse bucket. I can't get the camera far enough away. The clip is only so far that I can get it. Power supply still seems to be working. Once it gets under load, it might not. So we can try now with, oh that's right, we're still doing this board. So we've got to try and find a spot that I can get to. I might go from so I've gone across two sections of gold. Let's see what happens. Nice strong reaction. I can see a lot of dark sediment falling down on the solution. Working rather fast. You can see there's a lot of pink here now. Still some gold, but most of it's pink. I may need to move the clip to get the little bits of gold that are not coming off, because they could be on a different track. If you haven't seen underneath the mask on a circuit board before, there's little trails everywhere, and some things have a trail that go to others and some don't. So it may be that where I've got the clip now, it's not connecting to the gold. The power supply is holding out, which is good. Thanks for the suggestion. I can't think of your name off the top of my head. Like I said, I did know about it, but I just didn't think it would be wise to do to the power supply. Messing around with electricity is a lot worse than messing around with 12 volts in a car. But I do take on board everything that people say. I like having comments and suggestions. Always willing to learn. There's lots of sediment coming off. I can see that. You probably can't see from there, but down here there's lots of black coming off. Look at that, a lot of it's all copper now. There's little bits of gold here and a couple of dots of gold there, but the squares are all pink now. Still getting a reaction, so I'll hold it there for a little bit longer. I'd like to ask you guys while we're doing this, do you like the longer videos or the shorter videos? I know myself, I like to watch long videos, and some of the people are saying, oh, I'm sorry the video is so long. I like it. I would prefer them to be long. If you guys only want shorter videos, I'll try and make my videos shorter or make them in several parts. If you like the longer videos, let me know. I didn't really want to be one of those people who make part videos. I've had to do once or twice, but wherever possible, I've just done everything in one video. But if you guys are happy and you don't want the long videos, then I'll start making shorter ones. If you think I ramble on too much and too much talking, please let me know. I want to make the videos to suit you guys, how you like them. I need the feedback so I know how I'm going. Alright, so it's probably time to change position. See if I can go to one of the dots here. It might travel down to those dots there. I'll see. No connection there. I'll go down to these dots here. Let's see if that works. There's a good reaction because the other end has just gone in for the first time, so there's some squares of copper down, gold down there to get off. See if I can get this to balance on the edge. And then a clip that I can clip this onto. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but there's a lot of hissing and bubbling. Still some gold down here. These gold dots have started to go, which is good. I'll try and change position. See how it worked? See how it's a better response now? So the only patience you need is just to do this. Keep moving it around all the time. We're still a lot quicker than all the other processes. See that short circuit then? The little sparks on top. Eating my lunch at the moment, so if I'm not talking a whole lot, that's why. Looking good. It's almost all gone. I'd say that's finished. I'll have a rinse in the water and have a look at it. It's when you get a better view once it's all been washed. Yep, it's all gone now, it's just all copper. On the back there's no gold, so that one's done. Let's try this little circuit board from the phone. I've made a scratching on the top here, on the back, to get connection, because there's little bits of gold down the bottom. Don't know if you can see that as well. Most of the gold's on the front, and I made a scratching there as well, so I get a good contact. Make sure it's touching both sides. Just go from side to side, give it a bit of a scratch, make sure it gets right in there. Alright, so we'll try that. Yeah, nice strong response. Now, I'm expecting the gold on these boards to be very thin. I don't think it'll take long at all. This is from a new smartphone, and the gold in new smartphones is nowhere near as good as the older mobile phones. Mostly all gone. I think there's a little bit of gold on there still. Right, turn it around. Make sure I get the connection on both sides. So easy. Just fidgety, I think, would be the word for it. I've got nothing better to do with my time today. I've got some solutions on the hot plate and I can't speed them up. It can only take as long as it takes, so while I'm waiting for that, I'm doing this. That's all done. And the gold on both sides is gone. Give it a rinse off. And it's just copper. There might be the tiniest bit of gold there, but really it might be just the light. It looks to me like copper. So that one's done. The solution is very dirty, which is good. That means there's things that are going in the solution. It can only be copper and gold. There's not really much else that can be in there. But anyway, this is going to take hours. you get the gist of what's happening. So I'll cut the video. I'll come back if there's something that I have to show you or something I haven't said. I think I've covered most of it. So for now, I'll just stop the film and come back later. Well, the fuse has tripped again 3 times in 15 minutes, and this time, no matter how much I put alfoil on there, it's not making any difference. The fuse is in there. I've tried 3 different lots of alfoil on there. It's not making any difference. It doesn't come on at all now. So that system didn't last very long. Time to get another one. Lucky I've got plenty on supply. It's a shame that it doesn't have like an overload switch that will click off and then a few minutes later click back on again. Like my welder, when it gets too hot it trips off, cools down, comes back on. Don't have to keep doing this all the time. Alright, go get another one. Let's try again. I went and got that one out the cupboard, and as soon as I plugged it in, zap zap bang, stopped. Didn't even get to wire it up. This one seems to be working. I've got it wired up, so we'll go again. And I found that the only time it tripped was when I put most of this board in, so maybe there's too much for it to do at one time. So I'll try just putting this edge in, and then that edge there, and then that edge there, see if that makes a difference. But either way, I want to get to the gold in the middle, those 4 circles. What little bits on there. And some on here as well, so I'll just give it a shot this way and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't trip. So far so good. It's a good reaction, that's for sure. Another good thing about this way is there's no fumes. I'm not having any horrible fumes to deal with. It's got to be the safest method there is. Safest method I know of anyway. Seems to be helping when I don't put the whole board in. So what I might have to do is cut these into strips so that I can get to those circles if I cut all this off. Or cut it up the middle between the circles, have the clip on here and dunk the circles in the solution. Might have to do that, I think, because even when the gold's gone there'll be copper there. It's obviously too much metal at one time for it, I can't handle it. We'll see. Now this particulate that's floating on top, whether that's copper or gold, I don't know, but there's a lot of it on the bottom as well. A lot of it floating in between. I think if I get a squirt bottle and give it a spritz, spray it down on top, hopefully that'll make a lot of it all sink to the bottom. I'll try that later. Normally these computer power supplies are a good way to go because they're free for starters. I get loads of them, and If it plays up, we'll just get another one. But I may, if I keep having this problem, I may have to go to my battery charger, because at least that's got an overload switch. I just don't want to run the risk of blowing it up when I can use these. I think what I'll do is I'll keep using these until I run out, and if I run out, then I'll have to use my battery charger. I think you could probably even use like a phone charger that plugs into the wall, split the ends of the wire and take the plug off that used to go into your phone, and make sure you read on the charging point that plugs into the wall what voltage it is, because some of them are 12 volts, some are less, some are more. I don't suppose it would matter if you used less than 12 volt, just take longer. But I've got a few that are 12 volt. If I take the plug off that goes into the phone, split the wires, I should be able to use that. I've got lots of those too. There's plenty of options. And the reaction's slowing down, but there's still a fair good reaction there. Alright, I'll carry on and come back if there's something to show. Got some bad news as well. Yesterday the motor blew up in my Land Rover, and it couldn't have been worse timing, because in about 2 weeks' time I was going to go prospecting. A friend of mine has a lease. Gold has been found on the lease before. I was finally going to get a chance to take out my new GPZ 7000 and my GPX 5000 and look around for some gold, do a bit of panning, use my gold cube. Well, that can't happen now. And the worst thing is, I needed that gold because it's going to cost me $3,000 for another motor, which I don't have. I think all the gold that I've got so far from all these videos might, if I'm lucky, come to $1,000. Now, I've got a friend who's got a Land Rover Discovery for sale, and it's got the same motor I need, and it's a really good motor. I would be able to buy that for $3,000, and the gearbox alone is worth $900. I don't need the gearbox, so I could sell the gearbox to recoup my money, some of my money. I could probably sell the rest of the Discovery for $500 without a motor and gearbox. So I'd only end up being about $1,600 out of pocket. But I can't go and get the gold, so I don't know how I'm going to get this $3,000 together. So until however long I can get some money, I'm grounded. I can't go. My girlfriend's only got a tiny little hatchback car. Can't go in that. I'll have to stick to prospecting on the beach, trying to find jewellery to refine, and doing computers. But yeah, I'm devastated. I wish I had $3,000 so I can go and get this motor and get my car on the road in time to go away. My girlfriend even organised holidays for that time so we could go. Things never go to plan. Oh well. I guess it's meant to be for a reason. Don't know what that reason is, but hopefully something will come up. Now the gold on these boards here, this is the one with the golden edge, the one that kept tripping the machine. It's a very thick coating. It's taking a long time to come off. I've had to cut the board in half as I suggested, so it's not so much going into solution at one time. So far seems to be holding out, but I've had this in there now for 5 minutes probably, and there's still plenty of gold to come off. They're good coating on these. Alright, I'm back when there's something else to say. I've only gone through about 5 or 6 boards in 2 hours. It's going to take me a long time to do all these boards. So what I'm thinking is this video is about how to remove the gold from boards without acid. You've seen how I do that. So I'm going to make this a part 2 video. This will be part 1. Part 2 will be what to do with the gold once it's all removed. So until that's finished, until I get all these boards done and I'm ready to refine the gold, I'll leave it there for now. Hope you guys enjoyed what you've seen so far. I'll try and get the part 2 done as quick as I can. So thank you for watching. I hope you tune back in for part 2. And please like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'll see you on the next part. Bye.